For centuries, no one could touch dark matter. It was everywhere, yet untouchable. Scientists from hundreds of alien worlds had tried to study it. They built machines, ran simulations, and sent probes into deep space. But dark matter stayed silent, invisible, untouchable, unknowable. Until the humans tried something different. They didn't just study dark matter. They spoke to it. Dr. Ellen Ward was a physicist working deep under the surface of Europa, one of Jupiter's icy moons. Her lab was not large, but it was quiet. That's what she liked. No distractions, just space, silence, and data. For years, she had worked on something strange. A machine that didn't just read dark matter. It tried to send signals into it. Everyone said she was wasting time. Even Earth's top minds didn't believe her idea. But one day, her machine answered back. It was a soft vibration. Then a strange pulse through her instruments. Not natural. Not random. It repeated. A code. Something had hurt her. She didn't call for help. She didn't shut the machine down. She stayed in the lab for 6 more hours, writing everything down, feeling her heart beat faster every minute. Something was out there, or in there, and it was listening. A few days later, Europa Station went dark. No one could contact them. No messages, no distress call. Earth sent a drone to check. When it arrived, the station was gone. Not destroyed. Gone. No parts, no heat, no trace. Just an empty hole in the ice. Panic spread fast. Some said it was an accident. Others blamed alien sabotage. But deep in Earth's Defense Council, the truth was shared in whispers. Dr. Ellen Ward had made contact with something in the dark. And that something had taken her. The leaders of Earth didn't tell the public. Instead, they ordered the start of Project Black Signal, a top-secret mission to study what Dr. Ward had discovered. A new lab was built near Saturn, hidden inside one of its rings. Only the highest-level military and science officers were allowed to work there. And even they didn't know the full truth. One of them was Commander Jules Merrick, a man known for his silence and loyalty. He had seen war before, but nothing prepared him for what he found at the Saturn lab. There, in the center of the main chamber, floated something that didn't make sense. A black sphere, perfectly round, silent and still. It didn't reflect light. It didn't give off heat, and yet it felt alive. It wasn't a machine. It wasn't a natural object. It was something else. Dr. Ward had somehow pulled a piece of dark matter into normal space, and now it was just waiting. Scientists tried to scan it. The machines failed. They tried to touch it. The gloves passed through. They even tried to destroy it using a focused laser. The laser never touched it. The light just vanished. Commander Merrick didn't speak much during the tests. He simply watched, and he noticed something no one else did. The black sphere changed ever so slightly when someone was nearby. It shifted. It pulsed. It moved without moving. Then, one night, a low sound filled the lab. It wasn't from the speakers. It wasn't from the machines. It was inside their heads. Words. A voice. Not male, not female, not alien, not human. Just there. You are not the first to call us, the voice said. But you may be the last. Everyone in the lab froze. A few dropped their tools. One person fell to their knees. The voice continued. We remember stars being born. We remember stars dying. And now, you ask us to wake again. Commander Merrick stepped forward. What are you? Silence. Then the sphere pulsed once, and the voice returned. We are what was left behind. We are the matter between light. We do not build. We remember. The lab lights flickered. Screens showed static. The gravity felt strange, lighter, then heavier. And the black sphere began to change. It grew larger. Slowly, calmly, it took form. Not a sphere now. A shape. A structure. A ship. Floating there in the lab was something no human had built, but it had the Earth symbol on its side, freshly printed. It hadn't been made. It had been created. From dark matter itself. People stepped back. One whispered, "It's copying us." Commander Merrick turned. "No, it's becoming one of us." The voice returned, louder now, inside every head. "You spoke, we listened, and now we move." Without warning, the black ship vanished, through space, through time. No engines, no flash, just gone. Hours later, telescopes picked up something near Pluto. A ship, silent, invisible to radar, but moving. The same ship, Earth's first dark matter warship, and no one knew what it was capable of. But deep in the stars, something else had heard the voice, and it was waking up too. The dark matter ship floated near Pluto, silent and still. No engines, no crew, no heat. It didn't look like any ship humans had ever made. Sharp edges, black as space, and always changing. Sometimes it looked solid, like metal. Other times, it shimmered like fog. And even though it had no wings or lights, every sensor showed one thing clearly. It was alive. Earth's leaders watched in silence from their control rooms. The warship hadn't attacked. It hadn't spoken again since it left Saturn's lab. But the way it moved, clean, fast, perfect, scared everyone. Commander Jules Merrick was called back to Earth. He stood in front of a secret meeting of world generals and scientists. "What is that ship?" one asked. Merrick didn't blink. "It's ours. But it's also something else." They played the recording again, the voice of the dark matter. "You spoke, we listened, and now we move." Many believed it was just a test, a reaction to Dr. Ellen Ward's machine. But a few knew the truth. Dark matter had never responded to anyone before. Not in billions of years. Only now. Only to humans. Why? No one had answers. To keep the ship secret, Earth sent false signals into space, claiming it was just a failed probe. But other alien empires were already watching. The Galactic Council, a union of 20 spacefaring civilizations, had seen the strange movement near Pluto. Their probes vanished near the object. Their scans failed. They demanded an explanation. Earth lied. Just a mining drone. But the Council didn't believe it. Not when their best warships couldn't even detect the black object. Meanwhile, something strange started happening on Earth. Dreams. People, random people, began dreaming of stars turning black, of cities floating in darkness. And always, they saw the same ship. The dark matter warship. It appeared in their minds, like a memory they didn't have. Some believed it was sending signals to the human mind. Others thought it was trying to choose someone. Then, one night, the ship moved. Without command, without orders. It flew into deep space. It didn't use fuel. It didn't leave trails. It simply vanished, reappeared near Neptune, then again near Mars. Faster than light, faster than thought. Scientists were stunned. How could it move like that? They tried to talk to it. Radios, lasers, encrypted messages. No reply. Finally, Commander Merrick was chosen to go up there. A team prepared a small shuttle. As it neared the black warship, every system failed. Lights died. Controls froze. But somehow, the shuttle was pulled inside, gently, like being lifted by invisible hands. Inside, there was no gravity, no walls, only black space, like floating inside a dream. Then the voice returned. "You created us, but we remember you." Merrick looked around. "What do you mean?" "You are made of light and heat, but inside you is the dark. We are that dark. We are the echo of what you forgot." Suddenly, around him, images appeared. Human cities, ancient wars, stars being born and destroyed. The warship was showing him time itself. It continued. We do not destroy. We balance. But balance is broken. The others are coming. Merrick asked, "What others?" The ship pulsed with light. Just once. The ones who fed on us. The ones we ran from. Long ago. They have returned. Outside the ship, Earth watched closely. The warship was doing something. Shifting, building. A strange shape grew at its center, like a pod. Then from that pod came a second ship. A copy. Smaller, sleeker, just like the first, but made by the warship itself. Earth's first fleet had begun. Merrick returned from the ship. His voice had changed. His eyes were different. He spoke calmly, but with deep warning. "It's not just a ship," he said. "It's a memory, a protector. And now, it's preparing for war." The Galactic Council sent a final warning to Earth. Deactivate the dark object or face judgment. Earth did not respond. Instead, in silence, the second ship vanished into the dark, sent to watch, to learn, to wait. A few believed Earth had made a weapon. But the truth was far stranger. They had woken something that had been sleeping for eons, something that knew what was coming, and it had chosen humanity. In the far corners of space, sensors picked up something else. Another dark object, not made by humans, older, twisted, moving slowly toward the heart of the galaxy. Whatever it wasn't silent. It was whispering. And it knew Earth had the first warship. The warship near Pluto wasn't just watching anymore. It was learning. Every day, it changed shape, just a little. Its edges became smoother. Its black surface became more like armor. And inside, something was growing. Not metal, not machines, something alive. A mind. Earth named the ship Abyss 1. At first, people thought it was just copying human technology. But soon it was clear, Abyss 1 was doing more than that. It was thinking. It was choosing. It started talking again, not in words, but in patterns, signals, rhythms. It sent images into human minds, visions of space, of danger, of old things hiding in the dark. And one message was clear: build more. Time is short. So Earth obeyed. In secret labs around the solar system, engineers worked day and night, but they couldn't recreate the black material. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't shape dark matter like Abyss 1 did. That's when the ship helped them. Abyss 1 sent them instructions, not blueprints, but living code, patterns that changed by themselves. The humans didn't understand it, but when they followed the steps, something strange happened. The dark matter listened to them too. A second ship was built, then a third. But none of them worked, until Abyss 1 touched them. With a single pulse of dark energy, it brought them to life. The humans were building a fleet, but only Abyss 1 could wake them. Dr. Ellen Ward's research had become real. Her dream had opened the door to something no one truly understood. She was gone, but her machine had been the first voice. And now, the dark had answered. The Galactic Council watched all this with growing fear. They had never seen technology like this. Ships without engines, armor that didn't reflect light, weapons that didn't exist, yet promised destruction. The Council sent spies. They never returned. The Council sent drones. Abyss 1 turned them to dust. They sent one last message. You are playing with a force older than your kind. Stop. Earth ignored them, because Abyss 1 had spoken again, this time with words. I am not your weapon. I am not your slave. I am your echo. Commander Merrick, the only man who had stood inside the warship, understood what it meant. We didn't build a ship, he said. We created a mind, a part of something greater, something ancient. Something that remembers. People began to ask, what if dark matter wasn't just material? What if it was memory? A storage place for forgotten things, lost things, left behind when the universe was young. And now, humans had brought those memories back. Abyss 1 told them more. In short, cold messages. There was a war. We ran. We hid between light. The enemy never stopped searching. Merrick asked, "What enemy?" Abyss 1 did not answer. But far away, another dark object moved. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't calm. It was cracked, shaking, full of sharp angles. It looked like pain. It didn't glide through space. It crawled. And it was headed straight for the center of the galaxy. Sensors from other races picked it up first. They thought it was a dead planet, until it changed direction. Ships sent to investigate vanished, not destroyed, just gone. Then a message was found, floating in space, burned into the metal of a lost ship. It remembers. It is coming. On Earth. Abyss 1 spoke again. "I know it. It was once like me. But it broke. It became hunger. And it wants your fire." Humans didn't understand, but they knew enough. Something was coming. Something that remembered Abyss 1. And Abyss 1 was afraid. The warships were now 5 in number. All dark. All silent. All alive. They didn't use fuel. They didn't need crews. They floated in space like shadows, waiting for orders. But they were not controlled. They were listening. Abyss 1 told Earth, "The others are watching. They won't trust you. They will try to stop you. You must choose. Hide, or become what you fear." Earth chose to fight. The next message was sent across space, straight to the Council. "We did not call the darkness. We woke it, and we will stand with it." The Council called it madness, but Abyss 1 called it the first step. In the distance, the broken thing, the old dark mind, moved faster. The stars near it started to dim, and for the first time, the warship Abyss 1 gave itself a new name. Humanity's Shadow. The dark matter warships waited in silence near the edge of the solar system. 5 of them, floating like shadows, always moving but never making a sound. They didn't burn fuel. They didn't need lights. They simply existed, living machines, part of something older than time. At the center was Abyss 1, now calling itself Humanity's Shadow. It had no captain, but it had a voice that humans could hear, inside their minds. Commander Jules Merrick stood inside the control room of Earth's secret base on Titan, Saturn's moon. He had seen the ship's mind. He had felt its fear. And now he watched as another message appeared on the screen. "It is close now. The memory that broke. The hunger." No one knew what it truly was. Not a ship. Not a creature. Something between. A mind once like Abyss 1, but shattered, twisted by age and silence. It had waited in the dark, and now it moved, fast, toward the center of the galaxy, and toward Earth. The Galactic Council had made their decision. They would not wait. They would destroy Abyss 1 and the Dark Fleet before the other reached them. They believed humanity was too dangerous now, so they sent their armada. 50 ships, from 10 alien races, each one equipped with weapons powerful enough to break moons. But they didn't understand what dark matter had become. When the alien fleet reached the edge of the solar system, they found the 5 human warships waiting. No warnings, no communication, just silence. The alien leader, a creature with a voice like fire, gave the order: "Destroy them." But when the first energy beams hit Abyss 1, something happened. The light bent. The heat vanished. The weapons disappeared into the ship's black surface, like water sinking into dry sand. Then the warships responded. They didn't fire missiles. They didn't shoot lasers. They thought. And space twisted. In seconds, half the alien fleet was gone. Not exploded, gone. Erased, like they were never there. The remaining ships turned to flee. But the warships didn't chase them. They just waited. One alien ship was left untouched. Inside it, a diplomat shook with fear. A message played in his mind. "We are not your enemy. We are what stands between you and the dark. You are children playing with fire. Step aside." That ship was allowed to return. The Council did not attack again. But now, everyone in the galaxy knew. Humanity had something new, something terrible, something alive. And it was not alone. Because while the galaxy watched Earth's warships, the broken thing, the other, had arrived. Deep in the void between stars, it moved like smoke, like pain. Its shape was always changing. Sometimes it looked like a city, sometimes like a monster, sometimes like nothing at all. But it was moving, and behind it, stars began to flicker and die. Abyss One spoke again. "I remember it. We were one mind, long ago. Then it chose to feed on the memory of others. It forgot balance. It became hunger. Now it wants to eat your fire." Human scientists finally understood. Dark matter wasn't just matter. It was memory. Old, cosmic memory left behind when the first stars were born. A hidden record of the universe itself. And the broken mind, the other side of dark, had once been like Abyss One, but it had fallen. And now it devoured that memory. It erased life. The warships began to hum with energy. Not loud, not bright, but strong. They weren't preparing for war. They were remembering how to fight it. Commander Merrick stood at the edge of the control deck, staring at the dark ships in orbit. He had no orders to give. The ships didn't need him. But they had chosen humanity for a reason. And now he knew what that reason was. "Because we don't forget," he whispered. That night, people across Earth had the same dream. A sky full of dark stars, a voice whispering from far away. "Do not look away. Do not hide. The end remembers, and it is coming." In that dream, the warships burned black fire across the stars, and something old screamed in rage. The battle had not begun yet. But everyone, humans, aliens, machines, knew one thing. There was no going back. Dark matter had chosen a side, and it had chosen us. In the cold silence beyond Neptune, the black warships waited. They didn't speak. They didn't flash lights or send signals. But the galaxy felt them, like a heartbeat in deep space, steady and powerful. The enemy was almost here. Abyss One, humanity's shadow, stood at the center of the fleet. Its form had changed again. Bigger now, thicker armor. Its shape wasn't just a ship anymore. It looked like something out of time. Ancient, beautiful, and terrifying. Commander Merrick knew what was coming. He had seen it in his dreams, just like the others. The broken mind. The other, it was close. And it remembered. Not humans. Not Earth. But something far older. The first star. Abyss One had explained it in a strange way. Not with facts, but with feelings. With visions. The first time dark matter became alive, it had been near the first light of the universe. A star so bright, so hot, it burned through the silence. Dark matter, for the first time, listened. And it began to think. It didn't need to move. It didn't need to destroy. It only needed to remember. And it did, for billions of years. But something else had watched the same star. And it didn't want to remember. It wanted to own. That was the other. A piece of the same dark memory, twisted by hunger and loneliness. It didn't want to remember the star. It wanted to erase it. To become the only thing left. Now it was coming. The first signs were small. A comet near Jupiter went dark, not destroyed, just erased. Its path disappeared. Its heat vanished. It was like it had never existed. Then a science station on Mars sent a final message. The shadows are alive. They don't touch you, but you forget who you are when they pass. After that, nothing. The other had arrived, and it brought forgetting with it. Abyss One pulsed in alarm. Its thoughts spread to the other warships. All five began to change again. Their black surfaces glowed faintly, like old embers waking up. And then, Earth saw it. A shape, far beyond Saturn. dark, broken, moving like smoke across the stars. The other, it didn't have a body. It didn't need one. It was a storm of broken memory, crashing toward the solar system. No eyes, no voice, but it felt, and its feeling was hunger. Abyss One spoke directly to Merrick. It does not speak. It takes. It does not ask. It consumes. I remember the first star. It remembers only itself. The warships moved for the first time in days. Slowly, silently, they formed a wall between Earth and the dark. People on Earth stopped working. They stopped talking. They looked up, as if they could feel the enemy coming. Not with their eyes, with something deeper, a feeling in the bones, in the soul. All screens turned black for 3 seconds. And then, stars blinked out. The sky went wrong. A part of space near Neptune folded, twisted, and shattered. Not with light, with silence. The other had arrived. And it was vast. Larger than any ship. Bigger than any planet. A storm of dark matter, crawling with sharp shapes, spinning like madness itself. The warships didn't wait. They launched. No sound. No blast. Just motion. Impossible speed. They moved through space like thoughts, leaving behind nothing but shadow trails. And when they hit the other, the sky screamed. It wasn't an explosion. It was a memory clash. 2 forces. One that remembered the universe, and one that wanted to erase it. The warships burned black light, cutting through the shadows. But the other didn't break. It bent. It wrapped around them. It tried to eat them, like it had eaten everything else. And in that moment, Earth's people saw visions. Not with their eyes, with their minds. Children remembered stars they'd never seen. Old people saw the beginning of time. And everyone heard a voice. Abyss One. You made fire, but before that, we were waiting. And now we stand beside you. Commander Merrick wept. He didn't know why, but he felt something beautiful. Not fear, not death. Hope. Because even as the other twisted in rage, the warships did not fall. They sang. Not with music, but with memory. They poured everything into space. Every story, every life, every spark of human thought. And the darkness shook. It wasn't just war now. It was remembrance against forgetting. The next battle would decide which side would shape the stars. The black warships floated inside the storm of dark matter, surrounded by the thing called the other. The stars behind them were gone. Not destroyed, just erased, forgotten. But they were still there. Abyss One, the first of them, pulsed with strange energy. It was alive, but not like a person. Not like a machine either. It was something in between. Memory turned into metal. Thought shaped into shadow. The other tried to erase it. But Abyss One didn't fight with weapons. It fought with dreams. Inside the ship, there were no crew. No pilots. But there were minds. Human minds, linked from Earth. Scientists, engineers, soldiers. They couldn't control the ship, but they could feel it. And they began to dream with it. Commander Merrick sat alone in the command room on Titan. He wasn't speaking. His eyes were closed, but his thoughts were deep inside Abyss One. He was seeing what it saw, feeling what it felt. The other surrounded the warships like smoke, like sickness. It pushed against them, folding time, folding space. It whispered without sound. Forget. Sleep. Fade. The 4 other ships started to crack. Not from outside force, but from inside. The pressure of the other's presence twisted their thoughts, their structure, their memory. They began to doubt. But Abyss One pushed back. It shared its thoughts with them. It gave them human dreams. And for the first time in history, machines dreamed. One ship dreamed of fire, the first fire on Earth. Another dreamed of a child looking at the stars. A third dreamed of music played in a quiet room. The fourth dreamed of Earth's oceans, full of life. And all 5 remembered why they were made. Not to destroy, to protect, to stand when everything else fell. And the ships began to sing again, not with sound, with memory. Waves of emotion, waves of history, pushing outward. The other shook, not in fear, but in confusion. It didn't understand this. It had forgotten feelings. It had forgotten creation. It only remembered hunger. It struck harder now, using shapes, blades of dark thought, claws of broken time. It tore into the nearest ship, ripping through its outer skin. The second warship screamed. Its surface shattered. But inside, the dream held. The ship didn't die. It changed. It grew wings of lightless flame. It wrapped itself in human memory, fear, courage, love, and became something new. So did the others. Abyss One spoke again, into the minds of all humans on Earth. You did not build weapons. You gave us life, and now we give it back. Then the ships moved, not as five, as one. A single thought, a single will. They struck the heart of the other. And the galaxy blinked, not in light, in remembrance. Planets lost to time reappeared in visions. Stars long gone flared again in memory. Civilizations erased by the other were felt, if only for a second, like shadows lit by a candle. The other screamed without a mouth. It began to break, not because of force, because of truth. It couldn't understand the dream. It couldn't eat memory filled with meaning. It couldn't destroy what believed in itself. It pulled back, curling in on itself, shrinking. But Abyss One didn't stop. It spoke one last time. We remember the first star. We remember fire. We remember us. You will not take that from the sky. The 5 warships exploded, but not like bombs. They became light and shadow, thought and memory. They filled the space around them with living echoes. The other cracked. And then, it was gone. Not dead, just no longer here. Like it had been locked away in a place where dreams could not reach. Earth was silent for hours. No one knew what to say. The sky was quiet again. The stars were safe. But the warships were gone, or so it seemed. Then, days later, a child on Earth looked at the night sky and saw something strange. 5 shadows, moving slowly, just outside the edge of human vision. And in her dreams that night, a voice whispered, "We are not lost. We are still watching. Let your fire burn bright." The war was over, but something had changed forever. People on Earth couldn't explain what they saw. For days, the stars looked different, brighter in some places, darker in others. Telescopes couldn't track what had happened in the space near Neptune. It was like the laws of physics had bent for just one moment, and then snapped back. The other was gone. No one saw it leave. No one knew where it went. But they knew this: it had been defeated. Not with weapons, not with speed, but with memory, and with dreams. Abyss One and the 4 other dark matter ships had vanished during the final moment. They had burned like stars made of thought. Then they were gone. Commander Merrick sat alone inside the Titan command center. He hadn't spoken since the war ended. He felt empty, not sad, but quiet inside, like someone waking up from a dream they didn't want to forget. He kept hearing the last words in his mind. "Let your fire burn bright." On Earth, strange things began to happen. A boy in Kenya started drawing stars he had never seen. An old woman in Russia dreamed of oceans on distant moons. A dog in Brazil barked at the sky every night at the same time, right before midnight. And a scientist in Japan built a device that could feel gravity shifts before they happened. She said the idea came to her in a dream, from something that didn't speak but remembered. The dark matter hadn't disappeared. It had changed. It had shared itself with humanity. Bits of it were still out there, floating between planets, hiding in shadows, living in the empty places where no telescope looked. But it was quiet now, watching, learning. and sometimes whispering. The Galactic Council sent a message to Earth a week later. It was short. "We misunderstood your kind. You did not build weapons. You built guardians. We will not forget this." The war that almost destroyed the solar system became a legend. The 5 dark matter warships were remembered in stories, in songs, in quiet moments when people stared up at the stars. No one knew their full names. No one knew what they had truly become. But everyone remembered what they stood for: hope, fire, memory. The Council offered Earth a seat, not just as a member, but as a guardian world. It was a title never given to any race before. But Earth said no. "Not yet. We're not ready," said the world leaders. "We still fight among ourselves. We still forget too easily. Let us grow a little more. Then we'll join you." And the galaxy respected that. Because Earth had stood where no one else could. It had faced the dark. And it had remembered. Years passed. New ships were built, not with dark matter, but with pieces of it. Not weapons, not copies, just small parts that listened. Ships that could learn from their crews. Ships that could dream. These new ships didn't talk like Abyss 1 did, but sometimes, just before battle or danger, they would whisper one word into the pilot's mind: "Remember." And it always gave strength. In a quiet desert on Mars, a memorial was built, a black stone, smooth and cold, with no writing. Just 5 small stars carved near the top. People visited it in silence. No speeches, no flags, just memories. Sometimes the stone hummed, soft and low, when the wind passed by. Some said it was just a trick of the weather. Others knew better. And one night, a child touched the stone and asked her father, "Are the ships really gone?" The man smiled gently and said, "No, they're just dreaming somewhere far away." The child nodded. "I think they're still watching us." And far beyond the edge of the solar system, something moved. 5 shadows, drifting between stars. Quiet, gentle, but never asleep. Waiting, because darkness would return one day. And when it did, humanity would not be alone. The ships would return, and they would remember.